Alright, welcome to the Bear Overland channel. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about the cargo slide tray that I built to mount my fridge on top of the sliding cargo deck that Toyota has. So we're going to go over here in the office just a couple of templates that I made, and then we're also going to go outside and take a look at the actual deck. So we're going to start off with our first prototype, which would be right here. So, actually, it's right here. I went through 3 different prototypes. What I did is I just took a cutout of the actual tray, laid the cardboard down, marked out. There's these slots cutouts where the panels are for the 4 bolts. We ended up only using 2 bolts. First one looks like this. Fairly rough, not perfect. The corners aren't perfect. The holes weren't lined up perfect. You can see a bunch of tape on there. We went to another iteration. Iteration number 2. Right, a little bit better on the corners. Not perfect, but you can see the tape is a little bit, there's more of it, but the accuracy of the holes is a little bit better. And then the last one is the final one that I used to cut out of wood. So what I did is I traced it on the ground, took a line, like a pen, and lined a box, and then cut on the ground the corners out, so you can see that these corners are a lot nicer. Measured the holes fairly accurately, and then took a leap of faith and cut it out of wood. All right, so with that out of the way, let's go outside. All right, welcome to the back of the 4Runner. So, as you can see, here is this sliding cargo tray. And normally, there's just some carpet on top, but that doesn't work when you're trying to mount a slide deck. So, what I did is I took a 1/2-inch piece of plywood, cut it down to size, used the templates that I showed you guys earlier, and then marked out. I just used the 2 holes in the back here. There's 4 bolts, 1, 2, 3, 4. I only ended up using 2, I only needed 2. The reason why they stick out so much is that I couldn't find bolts that were fully threaded that were 3.5 inches long, because there's a ton of clearance underneath the slide tray for any bolt that you need. 3.5 inches, a 3.5 inch bolt is as long. It goes through, but there's not catching on anything when you slide. It just slides freely. So I'll eventually have to switch those out for fully threaded, but when I wanted to finish this project and actually get it ready so I could mount my fridge, I had to use what I could get. You'll see that there are 10 bolts for the Dometic fridge slide. And then what I did is I took these, I don't know exactly what they're called, but they're for furniture building. When I went to Lowe's and grabbed these threaded inserts. So to mount the fridge slide, I took on the back side of the wood paneling for the fridge slide, so I didn't have to risk pulling out the wood, because I didn't want to go with 3/4. Looking back, I probably could have, but I didn't want to go that heavy. There's going to be a lot of steel added to the rest of this, and it's already a heavy vehicle. Wanted to keep the weight down. I'm not doing a drawer system, but just being conscious of the weight, I didn't want to have any extra. So it just mounts. The bolts that I used thread straight through the metal, and you don't have to worry about it necessarily pulling out. They actually are 3/4 inch length of the rivets, or whatever you want to call them, and the bolts. They go through a little bit longer than this, but because there's a little bit of an air gap, they fit quite well actually. There was an air gap whether they were there or not, whether they were 3/4 inch or 1/2 inch. So I figured go all the way through the wood, less of a chance of it pulling out. So I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like with the fridge on. So you can see the main motivation for doing this is when this tray is slid all the way in, one, you can't really open the fridge all the way. And then if there was no fridge slide here, you could open it, but it hits the top, which is not necessarily a big deal, but I would reach all the way back. But there is gonna be a fold down table on this side over here when I swap out this tire carrier system for an actual bumper and tire carrier, which is coming in about a month and a half. But when the fridge is slid all the way out, right, you actually get to the back. that'll conclude the video on the tray that I built. So thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.